Assalamu alaikum. My name is Belal Hafeez. I am a personal trainer, co-author of the Healthy Ramadan Guide, the very first and only print edition. You can find me at Stronger with Belal on Instagram, at Stronger with Belal on Facebook as well, or thehealthymuslims.com. Work with my wife, who is a registered dietitian, Azima Qureshi. You can follow her at Nutrition by Naz, and we co-authored this book on helping you have a healthier Ramadan, inshallah. So the question I often get from people is, can you work out in Ramadan? Yes. To keep it very simple, yes, you can, and you definitely should work out in the month of Ramadan. Especially in the month of Ramadan, what ends up happening is we become a little bit less active. The problem with that is, we are going to get a little bit more tired. You're going to start feeling a little bit more aches and pains. So it's important to make sure that we are staying active. But when I mean working out, it doesn't mean trying to exert your level of energy beyond what you can handle, right? It's not like a regular workout where you're going into the gym and you're just going really strong and heavy. So it's important to remember when I'm talking about working out, I mean rather, building strength in your core, making sure you're able to stand longer for your salah, making sure that you're not getting those aches and pains to be able to sit on the floor to read Quran and so forth. It's important to make sure working out comes from a holistic approach, right? It's getting stronger for everyday life, right? So when picking up the kids, groceries and everything else becomes easier to do, and day-to-day chores become easier to do. That's the main focus of being able to work out, right? All the other aspects of getting really strong and everything, that comes after. But the goal is trying to make sure you're getting stronger, so that way everything becomes a little bit easier, and so that way you preserve your muscle, and especially as you get older, your muscles start to break down faster. So it's important to make sure we add a level of strength training to make sure that your muscles aren't breaking down. Now, how do you go about working out? How you work out is really important, especially in this month. In this month, we want to make sure that we're taking a step back, right? And actually focusing on the fundamentals. So focusing on the foundation, right, so to speak. So what I mean by foundation, if you look around and you see all these buildings, all these fancy buildings everywhere, whether it be the fancy ones in Dubai or in Toronto, the one thing they all have in common is a strong, solid foundation put in place, and then you can do it as you please afterwards. So in this month, because we can't really exert ourselves, right? So for example, research has shown that in the month of Ramadan, it's very, very hard to almost impossible in order for us to reach our complete maximum strength. So what they call is your 1 rep max. All right. So being able to lift something on super maximum level is very, very hard in this month of fasting. However, your endurance actually improves while fasting. So we can actually take that and actually help work on the endurance of our muscles, endurance of our cardiovascular health, and actually get stronger from that aspect as well. On top of that, working on the foundation of building strength in our core, right? Stabilizing our core. So when I mean core, I'm not talking about just like the washboard abs, but I'm talking about the intra-abdominals, your side obliques, your lower back, even your big back muscles that you have, and your glutes as well. Those muscles are really important on taking pressure off your hip, right? So if you're working on your core, if you're working on some simple exercises, working on, for example, a squat. Right, making sure you're working on trying to get lower within the squat. If you can squat to a chair to start off with, if it's hard that you can't squat just like that, or even doing a push-up. If doing a push-up regular is hard, then you can do it from your knees, or you can do it on the sofa or a chair, right? To add a little bit more incline, so it becomes easier, right? And then making sure your form is in place as well. Adding in very simple adjustments will actually make a huge difference on how your body responds after Ramadan, right? And then making sure that you're going for walks, right? Daily, every single day, we should be doing something. We should be going for a walk or adding in some element of some physical activity. Especially now, because of COVID-19 and everything that's going on, we're already at home so much. On top of, and we're not going out, so our level of physical activity has already gone down drastically. On top of that, because of Ramadan and trying to preserve our energy, what ends up happening is most people actually move and do less in Ramadan. So now we have these two huge factors. Both are kind of weighing down our level of physical activity. So it's important to make sure we try to bridge the gap and we try to find something that we're doing. And you're going to notice a huge difference on how your energy level is, your mental health, your stress levels, your mental clarity. And even when it comes to focusing, whether it be on our prayers or Quran or Salah and so forth, you're going to notice a huge difference on when you do become more active, when you do become more physically aware in that sense. So it's important to make sure we're adding something. On top of that, you want to make sure you're working on your mobility as well. So stuff like stretching and making sure that we're mobilizing our hips. So most people have lower back pain. It comes from a lack of mobility in the hips and a lack of strength in the core. So we utilize this month to help alleviate that pressure off your lower back. Same thing with the knees. A lot of times it's not the knees or the lower back. It's actually a lack of mobility in the hips and a lack of mobility in the ankles. So it's important to make sure we're mobilizing, we have a good range of motion, and we have a strong range of motion. So whatever range of motion that we need to be able to get to, we want to make sure that we're able to do it with strength. Right? So I hope it made it easy for you all to understand why you should be working out in Ramadan and how to be able to work out in Ramadan. If you have any more questions, or if you want me to go more in detail, we do our best to cover it off in the Healthy Ramadan Guide. But you can always message me at strongerwithbilal.com or on Instagram and Facebook at strongerwithbilal. If you want to send me an email, it's bilal@strongerwithbilal.com. And then inshallah, I would love to hear from you all. Well, inshallah, you're all staying safe. Salam.